Believe the
My name's Brady Long. My date of birth is 11/22/94.
Mr. Langu, good evening. This time check your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a complaint involving domestic violence. Sure, I'm understanding the nature of your case. It appears that you're being held on a separate felony matter that's not before me this evening, so we won't be talking about that. So on the case that I just referenced, sir, I'm going to schedule a hearing for you for next week in front of Judge Wendy Milling of the Tucson City Court. Since you're being held in custody, I'll appoint the City Public Defender's Office to help you. That hearing is going to be on August the 13th. At 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Milling. If you're still in custody at that time, you'll be seen by a video. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you are released, I am going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that you not possess any firearms or weapons, and that you surrender any firearms you may have to law enforcement within 48 hours of being released. And that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. You understand all that, sir? Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused.
See you in the minute.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening. My name is Aiden Maynard Palmer. Date of birth December 20, 2001.
Thank you. All right, sir. You're being seen here this evening based on a misdemeanor complaint of disorderly conduct alleged to have occurred on August the 3rd. Just reminding you of the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. And it would appear that you're also being held on another matter. Let me just all right, Mr. Maynard Palmer, you're being held on some separate matters that aren't before me this evening. So in your case, I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to hold you on a bond of $291. That'll be cash and secured, and that'll be so you can accrue time credit if that's appropriate. I'm going to set a hearing for you tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. in front of Judge David Miller at the Pima County Justice Court, and I'm going to appoint Mr. John Isles. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Okay. Well, his phone number and name will be in the paperwork from this evening. I'm also going to note that you're being held on a felony matter, so that Judge Miller can be aware of that. I'll order some conditions of release apply to you if you are released and are able to post bond. Those include not having or possessing any firearms or weapons, not possessing any alcohol or illegal drugs, and having no contact of any kind with the alleged victim. All right, sir. So you'll be seen by Judge Miller tomorrow. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is the jail. We are still waiting for Noah Ho to come down from housing.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anybody else? Okay. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Anthony Love Marshall, 9/30/98.
All right, Mr. Marshall, good evening. Time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a warrant issued for your arrest out of the state of Texas. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed to the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with them before saying anything out loud, okay? All right. Truth Health Services report. Chief's recommendation stated is requesting no bond. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. This is a governor's warrant, which is a little bit different than situations that we typically see at the initial appearance. Usually it's another warrant, so we just have to determine whether or not it's post-conviction or pre-conviction in order to determine whether or not we should impose or bond should be imposed. But this is different. This is a governor's warrant, so it's already been through the process. So it's the state's position that needs to be held without bond.
Okay. Yes.
Judge, 1 second, if we can mute it so I can chat. So, Judge, I spoke with Mr. Marshall. So, I'll be honest, Ms. Summers was right. We don't normally get a lot of governor's warrants. I was reviewing the statutes on this ahead of time. I do note there is a special provision for governor's warrants in the statutes. What I'm missing is anything under the bond statute that says that the governor's warrant qualifies for no bond. I think he's still entitled to a bond if it's conviction. The information he's given me is that he was pending sentencing when he picked up his warrant. Bottom line is, I'm going to ask for a bond in this case. I'm going to ask for. He just got out of prison on the 1st of July, so pretty much any bond is going to make him do no bond. it's more similar to anything, but I'd ask for a $2,500 bond, given that's gonna essentially be the same as no financial situation is getting out of prison. And more importantly, we want some, it sounds like if this has already been processed, I don't know what the status for contesting any sort of extradition is. As soon as possible to get this resolved if he's going to be held.
And state any last thing to add?
Judge, the only thing I would add is, so the statutes on this are not completely clear. I do agree with Mr. Zarzicki that the statute on bond, which is 3840, where did it go? I'm sorry, I lost that one. It's the one that we reference when we are holding them no bond.
3961, correct?
What's that? 60.
I believe it's 30. I believe you're looking for ARS 133961.
No. I am looking for. Sorry. No. 3856. So that's the one that we normally look at when we see somebody in bail, and then it says in what cases. But what's interesting is at the very end, it says the section does not prevent the immediate service of the governor's warrant that's issued pursuant to 3847. And then if you go back to looking at 3847, 3848, especially 3848, it's very strict about
That's just to get you back to Texas to finish the case. So.
It's very strict and pretty stern about commanding the peace officers to execute the warrant, to deliver him, the person, subject to the provisions of the article, to the duly authorized agent of the demanding state. So I think that points us in the direction of there's something different when there's a governor's warrant, and that the 3856 is not really applicable. So it remains the state's position that he should be held without bond. I am asking that, especially since we have the governor's warrant in place, that you set a review hearing on the 2:30 calendar, maybe by Thursday or Friday. And if I'm wrong, or if Mr. Zarzicki is wrong, then that can be handled there as well.
That sounds like a reasonable solution. Muted? How do you time now? Can we get it muted again, real quick?
So I'm just trying to take a look, second look at the statute itself. Now, Council, I'll take your point that the statutes do appear marginally different. However, I don't see anything in it that would lead me to believe that this falls under a no bill or bond hearing. So I am going to impose a bond amount of $100,000. And that'll be cash with pretrial services supervision in the interim. I will schedule a warrant hearing for the 11th at 2:30. That would be the same effective date as a no bond hearing. So there's no real difference in time. And that should be enough time for the parties to solve any sort of issues. Right. So, Mr. Marshall, you're going to be held on bond. If bond is posted, I'm going to order that you immediately contact pretrial services and stay in touch with them and submit to any monitoring treatment they may direct. I'm also going to order that you not leave Pima County.
And Judge, one thing under the statute that we're dealing with for the governor's warrant. So Mr. Marshall asked a very good question, which I do not have the answer to. It looks like the responsibility is on either the governor's office or the police, as a matter of the executive branch, to contact Texas. I don't know to what power the court has authority over the executive branch, but if the court could order to make sure that Texas has been notified at this point, so that if they can pick them up before that, get with us before we get that.
And if I may, our extraditions unit is already aware of this. They're the one that gave me the heads up that he would be seen tonight. So if they haven't notified Texas today, they most certainly will be notifying them tomorrow.
I appreciate it, Tom.
Yep.
Leave it to the both law enforcement and the county attorney's office to do their job. I'm sure they know how to do it well. So, Mr. Marshall, you're not going to be released this evening. Hopefully, you will be transported to Texas to answer for whatever matter the warrant was issued for. But that's all I have for you this evening, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Oh, and Your Honor, he's being appointed the legal defender.
Yes, correct.
Here's your terms. Okay.
Your Honor, I'm sorry for the interruption. This is a Spanish court interpreter. Can we check with the jail to see if there's any Spanish speakers tonight?
Oh, my apologies. I see it. Jail, I see on the list here that we have only one Arabic speaking defendant. No Spanish speaking. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Then I'll excuse the Spanish speaking interpreter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you, Your Honor. Good night.
Leave a second. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Sorry, was that directed toward me, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Noah Allen Hovde, November 25th, 1995.
Mr. Hoffey, good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a charge of domestic violence aggravated assault. Alleged to have occurred on the 1st of this month. To remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. All right, I've reviewed the complaint and pretrial services report. Do note that Mr. Hovde is pending on Pima County Superior Court cases CR 2024 1199, CR 2024 2666, now County Superior Court case CR 2024 00005, and Pinal County Justice Court CR Pima County Justice Court KCR 2000, CR 25-010-250.
Mm-mm.
On two felony cases, it appears he was released on bond and the pretrial service supervision. County Attorney's Office is requesting no bonds. I'm sorry, that Mr. Hovde be held no bond. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor, for being unreleased.
And defense?
Judge, given the state's position. Hold on, I apologize. I was looking for the interview to review with them, but given the state's position, we'll defer to the court.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hovde, and the state is requesting you be held without bond in their circumstances. I'm going to honor that request. I'm going to hold you without bond instead of no bond hearing for August 11th at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'll set a preliminary hearing for August the 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. I will note the other matters, the other criminal matters are still pending.
That's what I have it also for.
Okay. Mr. Robbie, you're going to be held without bond until you can be seen on the 11th, and then you'll have a follow-on hearing on the 15th. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Your excuse. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Heather Deanne Bates, 2582.
Give me 1 second, Spates. Ms. Bates, being seen here this evening based on A warrant that was issued for your arrest in the Pima County Justice Court by Judge Renee Garza. This relates to a charge of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree and failing to appear. And these are from May 26th and June 30th of this year. You're also appearing here on a Tucson City Court matter involving possession of a prescription drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. Alleged occurred earlier today. To remind you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. I do believe you're also being held on a probation matter from the Superior Court. That's not in front of me this evening, but I just want to note that for the record.
It's already taken care of all of this. I've already done this and taken care of all of this from last year.
Excuse me, I'm just going to take a look at some paperwork here for a second. So, Ms. Bates, on the warrant out of the Justice Court, I'm going to impose the bond that's requested. If it's $500, I'll make that secured. And I'm going to set a hearing for you for tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. in front of Judge David Miller. And that'll be a pretrial conference. I'm also going to appoint Mr. John Isles to represent you. His name and phone number will be in the paperwork you receive. On the city court matter, I'm also going to impose the bond that was requested in that case of $1,863. And I'll make that cash or secured. And I'm going to set a hearing for you in front of Judge Jerry Hale on August 15th at 1:45 in the afternoon. And I'm likewise going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. Their phone number will be in the information you receive after this hearing. In both cases, I'll advise you that, again, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You have the right, and I'm appointing attorneys to represent you in both cases. You are presumed innocent, and I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf to both charges, or in both cases, to all charges. And I want to advise you that you have the right to attend all hearings in this matter. And if you fail to attend any hearings in this matter, not only could you receive additional charges, but a warrant could issue for your arrest. Additionally, if you fail to appear at a trial in either case, it may proceed in your absence and you may be found guilty without the opportunity to present a defense on your own behalf. Additionally, if you're unable to be sentenced within 90 days because of your voluntary absence, you may lose the right to appeal a conviction in one or both cases. With that, ma'am, that's all I have for you. You'll have all the information you need to contact your attorneys. Please do so that you can be up to date on the next steps in your case. Thank you very much. You're excused.
I didn't think that you could do a bond in felony or a misdemeanor. I didn't think that you could apply a bond for that.
You very much can.
Yeah. You said this.
What?
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
James Franklin Hill, April 13th, 1978.
All right, sure. Good evening. This time, for your initial appearance, you're being seen here, reference a warrant that was issued by Judge Libby Shelton of the the Marana Municipal Court. This relates to charge of failing to comply with court order and failing to appear. This is from 2022, 2023, and 2025 respectively. To remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. And in this matter, I'm going to appoint an attorney for you because I see you're being held on a separate matter out of the Superior Court. That matter is not before me this evening, so I'm not going to be talking about that one. But in the Marana City matter, I'm going to schedule a hearing for you for tomorrow afternoon at 12. And I'm going to appoint Ms. Janet Altschuler to represent you. Her name and contact information will be in the materials you receive. And I'm going to impose a bond of $350, the amount that's requested in the warrant, so that you can receive time credit if that's appropriate. I will note the probation hold, so you may be seen virtually by the judge up in Marana, much in the same way you're seeing me this evening. With that, sir, that's all I have for you. Your excuse, thank you.
Sandall.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Roman Rene Sandoval,
And your date of birth, sir?
August 2nd, 98.
Sandoval, good evening. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a warrant that was issued for your arrest by, looks to be the Clifton Justice Court. Just 1 second, I need to take a look at something. All right. All right, Mr. Sandoval. Going to, okay. On the bond requested of, request $2,200 cash bond. I'm going to set it at $2,000 cash or secured. And I'm going to set a hearing for you on August 20th at 10 a.m. at the Clifton Justice Court. We'll notify, they'll be notified you have been apprehended, and they'll be given an opportunity to either transport you or not. But that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
So am I being released tonight and then having court?
No, I'm going to impose the bond that was set of $2,000. I'm sorry, it's $2,200. I'm going to set it at $2,000, and that'll be cash or secured. So if you post a bond, then you will be released, and your hearing will be set for the 20th at 10 a.m. If you don't, and then the Clifton Justice Court will be given an opportunity to transport you or have you seen virtually in the same way you're seeing me this evening? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
Hey, Anderson, sit down. Anderson.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Hey, Kristen Anderson. Age 2995.
All right. Ms. Anderson, good evening. You're being seen here based on a misdemeanor complaint of possession of drug paraphernalia. This was alleged to have occurred earlier today. You're also, I think, being held on a separate matter in the Superior Court on bond of $5,000. That's not before me today, but just wanted to note that. Provide you have a couple things. One, you are, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Their phone number is going to be in the paperwork you'll receive from this. Sorry. I'm going to set a hearing for you in this case on October 16th at 9 a.m. That'll be in front of Judge Sarah Mayhew at the Tucson City Court. So hopefully by then your felony matter will be resolved. But you'll have that hearing on the 16th, and you'll have the assistance of counsel. Also, you have the right to remain silent. I'm sorry, you are presumed innocent, and I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You have the right to attend all hearings in this case, to include a trial where you are presumed innocent, and the burden of proving you guilty is on the state, and that burden is to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. However, if you fail to appear at any hearings, they may proceed in your absence. A warrant could issue for your arrest, and you may receive new charges. Additionally, if you fail to appear at a trial and you're found guilty, not only will you lose the ability to present a defense in your case, you may lose the ability to appeal that conviction. You understand all that?
Yes.
Well, then, ma'am, you're going to, I believe, continue to be held, but if you are released, please make sure and attend your hearings. Otherwise, you can end up right back in custody, okay? And that's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Hey,
No problem. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Nathan Antonio Ayon, 124.99.
Mr. Ayon, this is time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here today on several different cases, all out of the Tucson City Court. And these relate to charges of criminal trespass in the third degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, interfering with judicial proceedings. To remind you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Let me just check. Okay. It doesn't appear that there's anything else holding you in custody. So, sir, I'm going to set a hearing for you on all your cases at the city court for August 27th at 2:30 in the afternoon. If I release you, will you promise you will appear at that hearing in front of Judge Blue?
Yes, I will. I will.
Then I will order you released on promise you will appear. I'm also going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, and that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include going to where they work or live.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, sir. You'll be released later today. Please make sure and attend your hearings. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, Judge. This is Hassan Hijazi, the court interpreter. I just wanted to make sure the court knows that I'm here.
Oh, yes, I saw your name in the lower
In the
corner.
list,
Hopefully get
on the
to
list.
your services here shortly.
No worries. Thank you.
You. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Claudia Francis Brown, August 25th, 1986.
Ms. Brown? All right, Ms. Brown, you're being seen here this evening on misdemeanor complaint alleging criminal trespass in the third degree, criminal trespass in the third degree domestic violence, and 2 counts of this misdemeanor disorderly conduct domestic violence. Remind you, do have the right to remain silent, and then anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, which may be appointed to you by a court based on your circumstances, or you may obtain one at your own expense. You are presumed innocent of these charges, and I am entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf. And I'm going to set a hearing for you on September 5th at 9 a.m.
Your Honor,
Former
may I?
Judge Verena at the Tucson City Court. Now, if I release you, will you promise you'll appear at that hearing
Yes,
on the 5th?
yes.
Then I'll release you on your promise to appear. I'm going to order that you, let me check one last thing. Unfortunately, pretrial services couldn't reach the alleged victim to get their position on conditions of release.
May I say something, please?
Just hang on, bro.
Okay, I don't know how this goes.
Well, you can't speak out loud, but again, you do have the right to remain silent, and then anything you say can be used against you.
Real quick, Your Honor. Process to our judge.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, I'm going to release you on promise that you will appear. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, and that you have absolutely no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. Do you understand all that?
I understand, and tomorrow's my son's vigil, so since I set everything up and I put on by me.
All right, ma'am. Well, you're going to be released later this evening. Your hearing will be on the 5th of September. Please make sure and attend it. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And that's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Arthur Fonzerati, Kanye, 6/17/77.
All right, Mr. Gañez, This is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here tonight based on charges of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I do note you are being held on a Superior Court matter that's not before me this evening, but because of that, I'm going to set a hearing for you that's a little bit further out than would normally be the case. That hearing is going to be on October the 16th at 9 a.m. and that'll be in front of Judge Jake Cranshaw. Like I said, you are going to be appointed counsel, and they will assist you throughout this hearing, throughout this matter. To remind you, you have a right and an obligation to attend all hearings in this case. Otherwise, they could proceed in your absence. You could be charged with additional offenses, and more importantly, they could proceed in your absence, including a trial where, even though you are presumed innocent and the burden of proving you guilty is on the state, and that burden is to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, if you are if you do not attend, you may be found guilty without the opportunity to present a defense. And if you are unable to be sentenced within 90 days because of your absence, you may lose the right to appeal any conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
For the record, I am also entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf to the new charges. And that's all I have for you this evening, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
William.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
William Cameron Hyers, February 14th, 1963.
All right, guys. Good evening. Time step your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a charge of domestic violence disorderly conduct, misdemeanor domestic violence disorderly conduct, alleged to have occurred earlier today. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Let's see, and I don't believe you're being held on anything else. And I'm just going to take a look at a pretrial services report to get a little bit more information on you. Okay. Appears the victim representative does not object to your returning to their home, does invite further contact, and does not object to your release. So, based on that and the other information here, I'm going to set a hearing for you on September 8th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Sarah Mayhew at the Tucson City Court. And if I release you, will you promise that you'll appear at that hearing, sir?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll release you on your promise. I'm also going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. I'm not going to order no contact between you and the alleged victim, but I want to remind you, sir, that any contact you do have with the alleged victim has to be peaceful, lawful, and they can change their mind at any time. And if they do, you need to break up contact immediately. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And with that, you'll be released later this evening. Please make sure and attend your hearings. Otherwise, they could proceed in your absence. Oh, I'm sorry. One more second. I thought this. I do need to advise you that you are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf. Do advise you do also have the right to an attorney that may be appointed to you by the court or obtained by you at your own expense. You also have the right to attend all hearings in this case, to include a trial where, again, you are presumed innocent and the burden of proving you guilty is on the state. However, if you fail to attend any hearings to include a trial, they may proceed in your absence, which may cause you to accrue new charges. And more importantly, you will lose the ability to present a defense in your case. Additionally, if you're found guilty at a trial but are unable to be sentenced within 90 days, Because of your voluntary absence, you may lose the right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
With that, that's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Michael Newton, 61581.
All right, Mr. Newton. This is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on, looks to be 6 different cases in the Tucson City Court. Yeah. And these relate to charges of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, general soliciting, possession of prescription drugs, and just repeats of the same offenses. To remind you, do you have the right to remain silent? Anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Their contact information will be in the paperwork you receive from this hearing. It looks like there's a collective $2,500 worth of warrant bond requests. I'm gonna honor, at least in part, those requests and impose a bond of $1,000 cash or secured. And I'm gonna set a hearing for you in front of Judge Maldonado on August 15th at 1:45 in the afternoon. That'll be a video review hearing. So if you're still in custody, you'll be seen by Judge Maldonado the same way you're being seen here this evening. If you do post the bond, I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you not return to wherever these incidents allegedly occurred. Give me 1 second, so I'm going to finish up this paperwork here. All right, sir. That's all I have for you this evening. Your excuse. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Yes, it's Jose Fiero, 07/21/2000.
Defense wish to waive reading of the charges.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fiero, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here on a felony interim complaint from the 20th of May. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay?
Okay.
All right, taking a look at the pretrial services report. as well as the interim complaint. I think there was no input gathered. Community ties were established and there was no felony or misdemeanor criminal history. State's recommendation is $50,000 bond. Anything to add from the state?
Yes, Judge. So I do understand from the pretrial services that history that there's no felony or misdemeanor criminal history. He is a 1 and a 1, and that community ties are established. However, those pieces are not the whole story when it comes to whether or not it's appropriate to release this defendant into the community. You have the information in the interim complaint that this was an ongoing pattern of behavior. I don't know if I apologize, I got kicked out of the pretrial services, so I can't see where he lives. I don't know if he lives in the same complex as where he works, but that would be a concern. But again, the ongoing nature of this and safety to the community, this is not a case where we have an undercover operation or something like that. There is an actual minor that was targeted, and it appears from the complaint that there was even efforts to have him cease the behavior, and it continued on. So the state's biggest concern here is community safety.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, I appreciate the court waiving, maybe prefer not to revisit this case, but to address a couple of the issues that the state posed. Yes, the interim complaint, I'll be the first to concede, the interim complaint doesn't read but that's its complaint. Obviously, he strongly denies all of the things alleged in it. The issue here today, and Ms. Summers is correct to the extent that there is a continuing pattern here. That is definitely something the court can and ought to consider. But what the court ought to also consider is there's no pattern prior to this. There's absolutely no history of conduct, no history of anything remotely like this. He has substantial ties to the community. He scored 1 in both metrics. To get back to the state's concern about returning to the same apartment complex as the victim, I did anticipate that. I spoke with him a little bit about that. He can go and live with his parents, which are not in that apartment complex. Obviously, he would happily abide by any conditions in relation to that. I think given his substantial ties to the community, given the complete lack of any record, there's no clear indication, and given the ability of him to not be in the same apartment complex as the alleged victim in this case, I don't think there's any continued risk of harm to the community. And obviously, there's no failure to appear history because he's never been in trouble before. So, given all that, we would ask for post pretrial services with whatever living monitoring restrictions the court deems.
Thank you very much. I'm going to impose a bond of $25,000 cash secured and order pretrial services supervision for Mr. Fiero if bond is posted. I'm going to order that he not possess, consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, not possess any firearms or weapons, and surrender any firearms he may have to law enforcement within 48 hours of release. I'm also going to order no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing date for August the 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
So you can move it yourself. Use that mouse.
Yeah, I realized that earlier. Sometimes I'm locked out on this end.
And is this Mr. Muhammad?
Yes, I am Ali Hassam Muhammad Al-Musali.
And do we still have the Arabic interpreter on?
Yes, I am here, Your Honor. أنا مترجم المحكمة.
Okay. All right. Good evening, sir. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
مساء الخير، فيك تعطينا اسمك الكامل وتاريخ الميلاد؟
علي حسام محمد الموصلي 13/8/1985.
So that would be August 13th, 1958. I'm sorry, correction, Judge. It was 1985, the date of the year.
Thank you. Sir. Good evening. This is the time set for your initial appearance.
هذه الجلسة الأولى اللي هي للظهور الأول إلى المحكمة.
You're being seen here this evening on a charge of misdemeanor domestic violence assault.
أنت موجود عندنا في تهمة طبعا في تهمة جنحة اللي هي فيها شغب منزلي وتهجم على أشخاص معينين.
You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you.
عندك الحق أنك تكون صامت ولا تقول أي شيء اليوم، لأنه أي شيء بتقوله يستعمل ضدك.
In this matter, sir, I've reviewed the police report as well as the pretrial services report.
في هذه القضية يا سيد أنا راجعت ملف الشرطة وملف مكتب المدعي العام.
I don't believe you're being held on any other matter other than this.
ما بعتقد انك انت عندك اي شكوى اخرى انت موقف مش شانها، بس هدول.
Additionally, the alleged victim does not object to your release or to having further contact with you.
طبعا الضحية ممنوع يتصلوا معك او تتصل معهم او يكون في اي اتصال بيناتكم.
I'm going to set a hearing for you in front of Judge Wendy Million at the Tucson City Court.
سوف أعين لك جلسة مع القاضي ويندي مليون في محكمة مدينة توسان.
That hearing will be on September 9th, 2025 at 1:30 in the afternoon.
وستكون الجلسة في يوم 9 شهر 9 الساعة 1:30 بعد الظهر.
If you promise to appear at that, I release you, will you promise me you will appear at that hearing?
إذا أخليت سبيلك اليوم هل توعدني أنك أنت ستظهر إلى المحكمة؟
أوعدك إني أحضر في يوم الجلسة، وأوعدك إنه أي شغب ثاني ما بطلع ولا في أي شيء، وهي هاي أول مرة يعني تصير. كان حالة انفعال فقط يعني كمشكلة عائلية بيني وبين زوجتي، بس أوعدك.
I do promise that I will appear on the court date. This is my first time and it was just a misunderstanding.
All right, sir. I will order you released on your promise that you will appear on September 9th.
سوف أخلي سبيلك اليوم، ولو لأنك وعدتني أنك ستظهر في المحكمة في شهر 9 يوم 9 الساعة 1:30 بعد الظهر.
الساعة 1:30 بعد الظهر.
I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
ممنوع تحمل أي سلاح، وممنوع تأخذ أي مخدرات أو تتناول الكحول.
That you not commit any acts of domestic violence.
ممنوع ترتكب أي شغب منزلي.
I'm not going to order no contact with the victim based on their desires, their expressed desires to pretrial services.
أنا طبعا ما راح أضع أمر إنك أنت ممنوع الضحية تتكلم معك، لأنه مسموح لك أن تتكلم معه.
However, I do want to remind you, sir, that any interactions you have with the alleged victim need to be peaceful, lawful, and if they change their mind at any time, you must cease communication with them.
لكن لازم أحذرك إنه كل الكلام وكل التعاطي مع الضحية لازم يكون بطريقة سلمية وطريقة آمنة.
You understand that, sir?
هل فهمت هذا الشيء؟
نعم.
Yes.
All right, sir. Then you'll be released later this evening. Please make sure and attend your hearings. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest.
تأكد أنك تروح إلى المحكمة بالتاريخ المعين وإلا سوف يصدر أمر بتوقيفك إذا بتذهب إلى موعد المحكمة.
100% سأكون بالموعد المحدد.
100% I will be there, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Good evening.
شكرا لك. مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.
All right.
فيك.
And it appears we don't have any other Arabic speaking defendants, so I'll just confirm we don't have any further need for the interpreter. Is that correct, Joe?
I believe I only had one case, Your Honor. I don't know if you're talking to me.
I
or
was just
someone
trying to
else.
confirm with the jail that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And I'll choose the interpreter. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good evening. Thank you.
You as well.
Henry.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Adrian the third, 2999.
Mr. Adrian. Good evening. This time set for, I'm sorry, Mr. Henry. It's time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a felony interim complaint alleging aggravated assault on a peace officer and theft of a means of transportation. You're also being seen on a separate city court case involving a warrant that was issued by Judge Jeffrey Clotes. This relates to charges of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree and possession of drug paraphernalia. This is back from May of this year. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. Taking a look at the pretrial services report, as well as the interim complaint. You note Mr. Adrian is a 5 and a 5 on the NCAA FTA scales. Community ties couldn't be established through a reference. There appear to be 1, 2, 3, 4 prior felony convictions. State's recommendation is $10,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Your Honor, in addition to the things that you just noted, we would also note that he was just very recently was released from parole supervision. That's all.
Yeah. And I apologize. I didn't note any other holds or statuses for Mr. Adrian, but I did note the recent release. Defense?
Judge, I will note, as the state pointed out, he was recently released. He also did recently complete parole supervision. I think that is an indicator to his ability to follow by restrictions. I'm not going to sugarcoat the scores on this. They're definitely not great. I will, however, point out that his priors are all non-violent. This is the first allegation of anything resembling violence in his history. He does have a recent parole success. He does verify he is still living on 30th. As far as, we would ask for release to pretrial services. Barring that, given his recent release and his current financial situation, the $10,000 bond is going to be akin to a no bond. We'd ask for something more than $2,500 to $5,000 for it's not important.
All right. Mr. Adrian, I'm gonna pose a $7,500 cash secured bond in order that if you do post the bond, that you be released to the supervision of pretrial services. and submit to any monitoring and treatment that they direct. In order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and they have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to their place of work or residence. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing for August 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And on your city court matter, one. I'm going to set a pretrial conference for you on October 16th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Maldonado. And also appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you.
And Judge, we don't represent him on that, but given he's being held on his felony, with the court being inclined to put a nominal hold on his city claim, so you can also go ahead for that.
I don't think the city delineates between someone being released ROR and a bond amount. But in this matter, I think the bond requested was $250. So I'll impose it just in case, and that'll be cash or secured. All right, Ms. Adrian, you've got some hearings coming up. Please make sure and keep in touch with your attorneys. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No. Up the door.
Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Guillermo Martin Galas Jr., 9/15/86.
Mr. Glaz, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on an interim complaint alleging aggravated domestic violence. And it's an allegation from earlier today. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. And I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. All right. Taking a look at the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation. No pretrial services rated Mr. Glaz as a 4 and a 3 on the NCFTA scales. The victim was reached, and they do object to having further contact as well as to the defendant's release due to safety concerns. Also note the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 prior felony convictions and 3 misdemeanor convictions, several of which were for domestic violence on both the felony and misdemeanor side. State's recommendation was $25,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. In addition to the things that you noted, I would also note that very recently he was basically unsuccessfully terminated from DV probation and released. He was basically getting a jail in term, it looks like, and just finished that in May, so just a couple of months ago, and has reoffended within a short period of time. So obviously there are concerns to the defendants, concerns for the safety of the defendant's family.
Thank you. And defense?
Judge, if you're gonna have just a second to confirm.
Right ahead.
All right, a few things, Your Honor. He wanted me to emphasize that he has complied with pretrial services in the past. I will note the violation, and essentially I agree with Ms. Summers' assessment. It does look like a jail term on his last violation. He did note to me, though, however, he was in the process of getting engaged in rehab when that happened. He is dedicated to finishing our rehab. He also does have a full-time job waiting for him. Jack in the Box gets out and he has a residence with one of his exes who's willing to handle him. So given that he does have some residence, given that his scores on this are rather middling, he's only assessed at a level 2, and he has employment, we would ask for the court to consider restitutional services, and if not, a much lower bond, something $500.
I'm going to impose bond of $30,000 cash secured and order pretrial services supervision for Mr. Glaz if bond is posted. I'll further order that he not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that he commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms, and surrender any firearms he may have. I'm also going to order that he not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. Preliminary hearing will be set for August 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
I remember long as I just got out. I'm afraid that if I don't make the release, I get Rebecca to get all my stuff. When I went to jail,
You are not on.
Judge, yeah, I appreciate what he was conveying to me is, given that there's no contact with his mom, if the court could allow him to have third-party contact for the limited purpose of securing his possessions, because all of his stuff is us.
I'll allow Mr. Glaz, if bond is posted and he is released, to return with a law enforcement escort. So, Mr. Glaz, if you are released and do wish to obtain any of your personal belongings, you will have to contact law enforcement first and have them escort you to the residence, be with you at the residence to gather your belongings, and then you will leave with them. You are not allowed to go to the residence or to contact the alleged victim otherwise. Do you understand?
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. You're excused.
Judge, when was his next court date? Sorry.
August 15th.
August 15th.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Lisa Marie Kamek, 9/15/80.
Ms. Kmick, this is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a few different matters we're going to go through. The first two involve felony interim complaints alleging aggravated shoplifting and organized retail theft from July 7th of this year. The next involves burglary in the 3rd degree, alleged to have occurred on August 8th, 2023. The next involves a warrant a warrant that was issued by Maricopa County, I'm sorry, 2 warrants that were issued by Maricopa County Superior Court related to charges of possession of a dangerous drug. And also a Tucson City Court misdemeanor case involving a warrant alleging shoplifting and failing to appear both in August of 2023. To remind you, do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. On the felony matters, the Pima County felony matters. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you throughout this hearing. So if you have any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay?
Okay.
Child Services report, as well as the interim complaint and the state's recommendation. Pretrial services had Ms. Kmick as a 6 and a 6 on the NCFTA scales. And do note the 1, 2, 3, 4 prior felony, 2 prior convictions, and then the 2 warrants from Maricopa County. As peer pretrial services notes that the warrants were issued multiple different times.
I contacted them through the petition the courts to have.
Recommendation was.
I never got served on this, but I lived there. So I don't do that here. So I asked.
Services noted that the
See me.
is aware of the missed court hearings. State's recommendation is $5,000 bond on both of the felony matters. Anything to add from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. So my bond recommendation, or the state's bond recommendation, is in lieu of asking to hold her no bond. She was on release on both of the offenses for those other Maricopa cases, but due to the nature of the offense, the state is proposing a bond in lieu of having her held no bond. I will note that law enforcement actually requested that she be held no bond. I didn't see that before I submitted my recommendation, but I still, just based on the nature of the offenses, I think a bond is still appropriate. However, their points in here are well taken in terms of, if you look at the history of what she has been doing and what's been going on for the past several years, and it does not appear that she is going to stop, and that any interventions do not appear to be working. One other thing I would add, Judge, so I submitted recommendations for the 2 new charges for Pima County. With regard to the Maricopa warrants, it's the state's I did not submit recommendations. It's the state's position that for out-of-county warrants, that this court honor our sister county warrants. So I did not submit a recommendation, and we just ask that you honor whatever bond they're requesting in those.
And to that point, 1 warrant does list the amount of $2,500. Sorry, $1,250. And the second warrant does not list a bond amount. Defense. If you need a moment with your client, please feel free.
Okay.
All right. Your Honor, a few things. All
I
right.
have stable address and phone number.
Okay, Your Honor, to address a few things, starting kind of in reverse under the pretrial information report. Yes, she does have prior felonies. All of her felonies are non-dangerous. They're all drug and property crime related. Additionally, Your Honor, as to the charges in this case, I mean, frankly, I'm probably making more of a reasonable doubt argument here than a probable cause one, but I am going to make a probable cause argument now, nonetheless. She is charged with, the reason it's a felony is because she's charged with organized retail theft. I don't understand what the basis for the organized retail theft would be. There is a statement in the interim complaint that she concealed the items, but no indication of her using any instrumental artifice to do that. She, by all accounts, it looks like she tried to walk out of the store with items, if we believe those allegations, which obviously to test. And that's enough for a shoplift. That's not enough for an organized retail theft. Additionally, aside from the fact that there just isn't much here as far as the organized part goes, it looks like a grand total of a little over $600 in property, and that's just not a lot. I mean, I know it might be a lot when you figure out how cheap an individual piece of property is at Walmart or whatever, Target, wherever this was. But bottom line is in the grand scheme of property crimes, we're not talking a substantial amount here. So I don't necessarily know that she would even be eligible for bail bond, given the fact that I don't think this qualifies as an organized retail theft. And if she is, we're talking about a very de minimis amount in the grand scheme of potential shoplifting as retail thefts. She does have confirmed residence. She has a house in Vail. She is helping take care of the person she's residing with. She's an in-home nurse. She's a registered or nursing assistant, registered CNA, and is doing in-home health care on that. Given that she has a residence, given that she has stable employment, given the nonviolent nature of these offenses, and quite frankly, given the fact that they're sort of borderline felony offenses in the first place, we would ask for the court to consider release to pretrial services. I will also note she has indicated to me, and obviously I have no way of independently verifying this, but it sounds accurate, that she was on release through pretrial services, as Ms. Summers has already pointed out, through Maricopa, had picked up a warrant and had been in touch with them to try to get a court date to get that washed when all of this went down. So with all of that in mind, we would ask for to consider release to pretrial services.
Thank you. I'm going to impose bond in both of the felony interim complaints of $5,000 cash secured. And on the felony warrants, I'll, since there's not a secondary amount, I'm just going to duplicate it so that it'll be $2,500 cash or secured. I'll set the preliminary hearing for August the 15th on the felony matters.
So that's
Likewise, order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted.
I work full-time, Your Honor. I have a stable residence. I was unaware that the state had picked up these charges again because I was released on pretrial services and these charges had been dropped. And so I don't know if the state picked them back up again later or what happened, but I was under the impression that they'd already been dismissed. And I was in contact with Maricopa County already with their judges there to transfer this case to Tucson via Zoom. I petitioned them by the mail. So I have tried resolving these matters.
Well, then we're going to give Maricopa County a chance to transport you and resolve the matters formally so that you don't have to wait for a petition or something via mail. I'm going to set a review hearing on the warrant cases for September 5th. Hopefully they'll have transported you or sought some other resolution, but that September 5th hearing will stand just as a placeholder so that we can keep an eye on the case. And lastly, you have the city court case, 2 counts of shoplifting. I'm gonna set a video review hearing for you in front of Judge Sarah Mayhew on August 15th at 1:45. And I'm gonna appoint the city public defender's office to represent you on that case. I'll honor the bond amount, or I'm sorry, the warrant amount of $250 so that you can receive time credit. And order the same conditions apply to this as to the others. That you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs and have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include and go into the incident location.
So am I bondable on all charges then?
Yes, I've imposed a bond on all of the cases and I've honored the amounts of the warrants in the city court and from Maricopa County Superior. So that's all I have for you, ma'am. Thank you. You're excused.
Yeah.
So Jill just.
I believe.
Sorry.
I don't think I filled it out already.
It's recent. Yeah.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Elijah Little, 32102.
So good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a charge or two charges of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Remind you, do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions, please address them to him before saying anything out loud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Read the pretrial services report from Ms. Little, as well as the state's recommendation and the interim complaint. State's recommendation is pretrial services in the steps court hearing. And that
That is correct, Your Honor.
defense, I'm inclined to agree with the state and release your client to pretrial services and schedule a steps court evaluation. If you'd like a chance to talk with your client, please feel free.
Will do, Your Honor. She is amenable to waiving time and enrolling into steps.
Sure. Ms. Little, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct. So basically, if they call you and tell you need to do something, you need to do it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to set a steps court evaluation hearing for you for August 12th at 9 a.m.
All right.
I'm also going to set a preliminary hearing just in case that first one doesn't go forward. And that hearing will be on September 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Well, you'll be That's all right. Okay. Please make sure and contact pretrial services as soon as you're released. Stay in contact with them as well as your attorneys so you can be up to date and so you don't miss any hearings, okay?
Okay, thank you. I can go now?
Yes, you're excused. Thank you.
Raul.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good evening. My name is Raul Lugo. No, sorry, Raul Florencio Lugo Robles,
And your date of birth?
April 11th, 1994.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lugo. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a felony complaint alleging multiple counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, aggravated assault, alleged to have occurred earlier today. You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay?
Okay.
Taking a look at pretrial services reports. Mr. Lugo was rated as a 3 and a 2 on the NCAA scales. Does have a pending city court matter, but I don't believe that's in front of me this evening.
I have a pending, I don't even know.
The alleged victims were, at least some of them were reached. They do not wish to have further contact and do object to his release from custody. Alternate housing, I guess, couldn't be confirmed by pretrial services. And there does appear to be the one misdemeanor offense.
I just talked to my mom and said,
City court. County Attorney's Office recommendation was for $25,000 bond. Anything else to add from the state?
Yes, Judge, I would just reiterate, I mean, I know that he doesn't have a significant criminal history, but I would just reiterate the danger that he placed his family members in this situation, and that we have victim input from the ones that they were able to get input from, and they do not want him home. They do not want contact. I see that they don't object to release. However, we don't have a plan for alternate housing. We don't have a plan for a way to keep everybody safe. We don't have input from all of the victims, but I think they're all living in the same house. So again, that's a concern as well. So the state is asking that you impose the $25,000 bond based on those reasons and for the concern for the safety of his family.
Thank you. Defense?
If I can have 1 second to confer, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Proceed.
All right, Your Honor, a few things. So, first off, I understand the nature of the allegations in this case are a little bit scary, for lack of a better word. I do think that we're going off an interim complaint, so I'm shooting the dark as far as what information we got. Looking at the interim complaint, I immediately am a little concerned that the niece in this case, the victim in this case, alleged that a knife was actually held to her, and then the police, the best they could charge was disorderly conduct involving a weapon, which would mean he was simply holding a knife while essentially while arguing with them. Had the police fully believed what the victim was saying in this case, if there isn't some evidence that's not in the interim complaint, then we should be dealing with more serious charges here. Second, beyond that, yes, I do understand the state's concern about him returning to that residence. He's indicated to me, he's spoken with the mother. The niece does not reside there. The alleged victim in this case does not reside at the residence. His mother is the one who owns that home. She said that he is welcome to return there. I told him he may need to seek alternative housing. He will make efforts to do that if that is in order of the court. So having said all that, I think there's some mitigation here as far as and obviously we deny the charges or the complaint, the facts of the complaint stated the complaint. But given that there does seem to be some inconsistency in the complaint, given that there is definitely some inconsistency with whether or not the niece resides there, given his complete lack, and I will say it's not that he has a minor criminal history, he has a complete lack of criminal history. The only prior charge that PTS came up with, he was not convicted of. There's no evidence of the conviction. So he has no criminal history whatsoever. He did have stable residence prior to this happening. He highly contests the charges here. He's the very bottom of the scale. Given all of that, or what I'm that's very low on the scale. Given all of that, we would ask for the court to consider release to pretrial services and whatever conditions the court feels is necessary to ensure that the alleged victim in this case is separated from them. He will agree to it.
Thank you.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Just clarify one thing. I'm not sure if Mr. Ziziki missed it, but he is charged with aggravated assault. It's not just DOC with a weapon.
That's okay. So that's not what the interim complaint says.
It does say that, Jeremy. It says in
the narrative that says he's being charged with disorderly conduct.
But then at the bottom, it says probable cause existed to arrest Raul Lugo for aggravated assault, domestic violence.
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge, for us to get into an argument.
No. I'm not seeing that on mine at all.
Do you have 2 pages on your
Thank you both.
complaint?
You're both welcome to litigate this at a later time. I'm going to impose a bond of $20,000 cash secured and in order that Mr. Lugo be released to the supervision of pretrial services if bond is posted. The same conditions will apply. No alcohol or illegal drugs will be possessed. No firearms or weapons. All firearms in Mr. Lugo's possession will be surrendered within 48 hours to law enforcement. I will impose a no contact order with all victims given the facts as alleged. I do have concerns for the safety of all involved. If there are any personal belongings, Mr. Lugo, that you have at the alleged victim's residence, I will allow you to return one time with a police escort, which means you will call police, arrange for them to be present with you at the home, with you the entire time you were there, and then you will leave with them. You are not allowed to go to the residence otherwise, sir. I'll set the preliminary hearing for August 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Marisol Man, 8/10/1990.
All right. Man, good evening. This time step your initial appearance. You're being seen here on two different charges. The first involves a felony interim complaint alleging possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And the second involves a warrant that was issued for a misdemeanor charge of shoplifting by Judge Charlene Pesquera of the Pima County Justice Court. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and in your felony matter, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay? You understand?
Yes, okay.
On the felony matter first, I've taken a look at pretrial services report from this man, the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation for pretrial services release. We'll note that doesn't appear to be any other holds noted. The NCAA FDA scales were 4 and a 6 respectively. And there was community ties established and no other felony or misdemeanor. Felony criminal history noted. Anything else that from the state? I'm sorry.
No, Your Honor.
Depends. I'm inclined to agree with state's recommendation. Do you wish to add anything?
No, we'll defer on that.
All right. Yes, man, I'm going to release you to pretrial services supervision, and I'm going to order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct. So if they call you and tell you need to do something, you need to do it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I'll likewise set a preliminary hearing for you on August 25th at 1:30. And on the misdemeanor matter, I'm going to set a hearing for you on August 15th, so 10 days earlier, at 8:30 in the morning in front of Judge Crystal Foster at the city court. I'm sorry, at the Pima County Justice Court, excuse me. And that'll be at 8:30 in the morning.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for missing that one. I truly didn't even know that I had it, or I really would have taken care of it. That's truthfully, I take care of all my things. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm going, all right. I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim or return to the incident location. And with that, Ms. Mann, you are going to be released later this evening. Please make sure and contact pretrial services and your attorneys as soon as you're released, and stay in contact with them throughout your cases so that you don't miss any dates, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You're excused.
Ramen. Oh.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Mohammed Hardway, 1495.
Mr. Mohammed Hardway, this time set for your initial appearance. Being seen here this evening on a single charge of unlawful flight from pursuing law enforcement, alleged to have occurred earlier today. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. All right, taking a look at pretrial services report. Do note that there appears to be a DOC hold on Mr. Mohammed Hardway related to a parole violation. County Attorney's Office recommendation is $5,000 bond. Anything to add from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And defense, given the hold, anything to add?
I think I can chat with him for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, given the DOC hold, he would defer on bond. I would ask for a more de minimis bond. It sounds like his max end date or his end date with DOC was September, based on his understanding. So if there is a chance he can kill his DOC number while he's in here, he would need to get released here to get past the telehandler to get back before he does anything probation wise on this case anyway. So with that in mind, we would ask for a little more de minimis of a bond. And if opportunity arises, if that's something he needs to do, then we'll give some of the opportunity to post it away. Just look for it.
Thank you. I'll propose a $2,500 cash secured bond and order that Mr. Mohammed Hardway be released to pretrial service supervision if released and if the hold disappears. I'll set the preliminary hearing for August 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right, sir. That's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused.
And Your Honor, if the next one is Mr. Pack
I believe
or
it's
Ms. Pack.
I believe it's an attorney general case, so you can
Yeah.
sit tight for a second. I think we have just a few more with you, Ms. Summers. All right.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Jordan Pock, 3/1990.
All right. Ms. Pock, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening on a this would be a grand jury warrant alleging 19 counts involving misdemeanor theft, burglary in the 3rd degree, felony theft, burglary in the 2nd degree, trafficking of stolen property in the 1st degree, 2 charges of that, aggravated taking of the identity of another, organized retail theft, shoplifting, felony shoplifting, attempted organized retail theft, fraud schemes and artifices, trafficking of stolen property in the 1st degree, again, trafficking, several charges involving trafficking, rather duplicates of the one or more of the additional charges. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney. Excuse me. And I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Taking a look at pretrial services reports. Ms. Pock, there's a note of felony probation, so no holds and no other pending cases other than this one. Ms. Pock was a 6 and a 6 on the NCIFTA scales and does have, let's see, 8 prior felony convictions with similar charges in several of them. The earliest case dates from 2010 and the most recent from 2024. State's recommendation was $50,000. I'm sorry, the amount of the warrant is listed as $30,000.
Yes, Judge. The state's recommending $50,000 though.
Anything that from the state?
Yes, Judge. The state is recommending $50,000 bond here. These incidents, Judge, are not from a single date, but arise over the case of a couple of months. During the course of that period of time, the defendant not only engaged in burglaries of various businesses, but also residential burglary and various trafficking of stolen property related offenses, as well as an entirely separate fraud scheme going on at some retailers. Given that history, given the fact that she was on felony probation at the time, and subsequent to these events has been convicted of at least 2 additional felonies, The state believes a substantial bond is warranted.
Thank you. Defense?
Yeah, 1 second, if I can confer with the client, Judge.
Go right ahead.
Judge, I want to clarify. I think there's a serious issue here. This case predates the one she's on probation. So this was not committed while she was on probation. She indicated to me she's been in good compliance with probation up until the warrant on this case. Frankly, I'm not sure why this wasn't done.
Just before we go on, the probation, I believe, is out of Graham County and predates these cases. She was subsequently placed on probation again by Pima County in separate cases.
Okay, so she doesn't know what the status of the Graham County probation is, but she's been doing well on her release, doing well on her matters in the Pima County case. I also want to point out, this is one of those cases, and I don't mean this in any way to besmirch Mr. Lester, but this is one of those cases where the prosecutor kind of drug their feet on it. These are charges that date back to August of last year. She's been on probation since June, and they're just now getting around to indicting. And when they indicted, the reason she has a warrant is they went direct warrant out of indictment, which makes absolutely no sense. When she was on probation, they know where she is. They didn't have to issue a warrant for her. They could have summoned her and brought her in to deal with this stuff. But instead, they waited almost a year, actually, damn near a year, to charge these cases and then issued a warrant for her. She was doing well on probation. She just recently completed rehab. She has stable residence with her husband. And like I said, yes, Mr. Lester is right. There is some indication she picked up some new charges, and hence her entering probation in June of this year. But it doesn't make any sense to put her on probation, then turn around essentially and revoke her probation before we revoke her probation by putting her back in jail and not giving her a chance to continue on probation and fight these charges. So with all that in mind, we ask for release to pretrial services. Failing that, these are all nonviolent offenses. 50,000 is ridiculous. The warrant only asks for 30,000. There's no way she can afford to post any of that. So if the court isn't inclined to release pretrial services, we'd ask for a bond less than 10,000. So there's at least some possibility she can post it.
Thank you. I will honor the bond amount of requested $30,000, cash is secured, and order pretrial services release. Pretrial services supervision. I'll set the arraignment for August 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So Ms. Pak, you're not going to be released unless you're able to post bond. If you do, you need to contact pretrial services immediately. I'm also going to order you not have any contact of any kind with any alleged victims in any of the underlying offenses, or go back to any of the places where this conduct is alleged to have occurred. So please keep in touch with your attorney so you can be up to date on the next stages of your case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused.
You, Judge. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Nicholas Connor Peterson of 30295.
Ms. Peterson, good evening. You're being seen here this evening based on charges of unlawful possession of a narcotic drug and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay? All right, take a look at pretrial services report, infant complaint, and the state's recommendation. State's recommending pretrial services release in the steps court evaluation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Since I'm inclined to agree and release your client to pretrial services and schedule a steps hearing, if you'd like a minute to take a speak with him, please feel free.
Will do, Your Honor. He's amenable to steps and he's okay with waiving the time for the preliminary hearing.
Thank you. So, Mr. Peterson, I'm going to release you to pretrial services supervision, and I'm going to order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct you to do. So if they call you and tell you need to do something, you need to do it, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to set a steps court hearing for you to be evaluated for that program for August 12th at 9 a.m. and a preliminary hearing, just in case that is not successful, for September 19th at 1:30 p.m. I'm also going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while on release. And with that, sir, that's all I have for you. Please make sure and contact pretrial services and your attorneys and stay in contact with them so you can be up to date on the next stages of your case. That's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Abel Ernest Rodriguez, August 4th, 1982.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, good evening. This time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here this evening based on a felony complaint involving aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, discharging a firearm within city limits, and disorderly conduct. I'm sorry, domestic violence, disorderly conduct. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Taking a look, pretrial services has no notes of other charges, cases, or holds for Mr. Rodriguez. He was rated a 2 and a 3 on the NCAA FTA scales. Unfortunately, the alleged victims cannot be contacted for comment. Community ties were established by a third-party reference, and there was no note of felony or misdemeanor criminal history. State's recommendation was $50,000 bond. Anything to add from the state?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is based upon danger to the community, the extreme violent nature of this case, despite his lack of criminal history. The facts and the fact that there was the facts and type of weapon that were used is disturbing and concerning to the state, and that the victims basically had to flee and hide from the situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense?
Judge, I want to make an argument of probable cause on this one. So first off, let's be clear. He is, as Ms. Summers pointed out, there's no criminal history here, so he's not a prohibited possessor. He's legally allowed to have a firearm. By the looks of it, from the interim complaint, he's out drinking with people. They go back to his place. He tells them to leave. They're intoxicated. They refuse to. He then displays a firearm, which he's legally allowed to do. Once they refuse to leave his residence, they are now trespassing on his castle. He is allowed to use a firearm. He is allowed to display deadly force to deter them to leave. Firing the firearm, sure, that might have been unjustified. That gets you a misdemeanor, unlawful discharge. That doesn't get you an aggravated assault when he had every legal right to try to get these people out of his house. He has no criminal history whatsoever. Like, no one was hurt. This was not non-violent. He has discharged the firearm. Obviously, has some inherent violence in it, but obviously it wasn't shot at anybody. And as far as, I'll point out, not to make analogy arguments, but this was what Judge Waters himself did with firing a firearm on somebody. He didn't even get charged with that crime. So now, for him to be indicted, for him to have an interim complaint, a pending indictment for, again, discharging a firearm to try to get people off his property when they had no right to be there after he told them to leave, that's not probable cause. Failing that, if the court does still determine he exceeded his review as a homeowner and thinks there is a crime here, there's absolutely no reason not to release him from services. He has no criminal history whatsoever. He's very low on the scale, 2 to 3. He has confirmed residence. He has confirmed employment. He does have stable residence, stable employment. There's absolutely no reason to think anything like this would happen again. With a lack of criminal history, nothing to show that he can't show up to the yes, please let us services.
Sorry, state any comment? I believe defense raised a concern about probable cause. If you'd like to respond in any way, please feel free.
Yes, Your Honor. So first of all, I don't think it's entirely clear that that's his residence, because he told pretrial services that he lived with his mother at West Castile. So I'm not sure that information quite lines up with defense of premises. In addition to that, I'm also not quite positive that arguing a justification defense is appropriate at the initial appearance for probable cause. I might be misremembering, but I think that is something that comes a little bit later, not appropriate for initial appearance. The other thing that I would point out is that his fiance is a listed victim as well. And so whether or not, in terms of, we have 3 victims here, not just the 2 people that we're visiting. And she was present when he is waving the firearm around and shooting it to the ceiling as well. So I think there is, from the variety of charges that are here, there is enough to continue on with the complaint.
And the one thing I will note to clarify, Judge, is that is his residence. His mother was contacted to confirm pretrial services. I think Ms. Summers' statement makes sense based on the way pretrial services wrote it. Said she stated the defendant may continue to reside with her. That is not. He is not currently residing with her. I think that was just a misunderstanding. As far as him residing with her, he did confirm that he has a residence separate from his mother, but has resided with his mother in the past.
He told them he lived with her. It's right above it.
Thank you both very much. I will impose a bond of $15,000 cash secured in order that Mr. Rodriguez be under the supervision of pretrial services if bond is posted. I'm in order that he not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, that he not commit any acts of domestic violence, and that he not possess any firearms or weapons and surrender any firearms he may have within 48 hours. So, Mr. Rodriguez, you're going to be held in custody if unless until you're able to post that bond. If you do post the bond, you need to contact pretrial services immediately, as well as your attorneys, and stay in contact with them pending the next hearings in your case, which for you will be August 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Okay, Your Honor.